Right, hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be predicting game week number 3 of the 25-26 Premier League season. But first, let's have a look at how I did last week. And I actually had a very good week last week. I got 3 outcomes correct and 4 scorelines bang on. I got Bournemouth beating Wolves 1-0 correct. I got Fulham and Man United 1-1 correct. I got Palace and Forest 1-0 correct. And last night, Liverpool winning 3-2 against Newcastle correct. So that's a total of 15 points this game week, taking my season total up to 25 points. And here is how the Premier League table looks after 2 game weeks. Some interesting names up there and down the bottom, but let's have a look and see what I predict will happen this week. And the first game up is Chelsea against Fulham. And Chelsea absolutely battered West Ham on the Friday night 5-1. I made a reaction video to that. Go and check it out if you haven't already. And obviously Fulham drew 1-1 with Man United with a goal from Emile Smith-Rowe. However, this is at Stamford Bridge. And I just think Chelsea look strong this season. They they battered West Ham 5-1. And I just think with the quality, I don't know if Cole Palmer will still be injured, but with the quality they have, like Caicedo, João Pedro, Liam Delap, who else? Enzo Fernandez scored a goal. I think there's too much quality there, and with Chelsea being the home side, I am going to give Fulham a goal, but I'll give Chelsea 3. I'm going 3-1 Chelsea. I think the quality of Chelsea's squad is just going to get them the win here. Next up, we've got Wolves against Everton. And now this is a tricky one. I'm filming this on Tuesday morning before the Carabao Cup rounds. Wolves play West Ham, I believe, tonight. And I think this game might actually ride on what happens on that game later on. If I had to pick a winner right now, I would pick Everton to win this. Because Wolves, what did they do? They got absolutely flattened by Man City 4-0 on the opening day of the season. And then, last week, they went and lost again. Can't remember how much it was. But they've been... Oh no, it was 1-0 Bournemouth, wasn't it? Wolves lost 1-0 to Bournemouth. But Everton, they got... they played Brighton in their new home last weekend and got the 3 points over the line with a 2-0 victory. I think with this being at Molineux, I'll give Wolves a goal, but I'm giving Everton the win. I'm going 2-1 Everton. I think David Moyes has his players going. Of course, Jack Grealish, Ndiaye, Beto can score goals when he's playing. Of course, they did just sign Tyler Dibbling as well from Southampton, my side. So he's a good player. He could get some goals for you. So 2-1 Everton is where I'm going on this one. And next up, we've got Tottenham Hotspur against Bournemouth, and Spurs beat Man City 2-0. That's 2 victories out of 2 for Thomas Frank at the start of his Spurs career. And Bournemouth, they did beat Wolves 1-0. But this is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And interestingly enough, Spurs are yet to concede a goal in the Prem this season. Their defensive record has really got better. Weirdly enough, I think that Bournemouth might actually score a goal here. But I look at Spurs, and I look at the home side. I look at Spurs, you've got Richarlison, Brennan Johnson. At the moment, they've still got Bazuma, Kudos, of course. They've got some good players here. Bournemouth have also got like Tavernier, Evan Nilsson, Kluivert, Semenyo. And I think Bournemouth have enough quality to score a goal. But I look at Spurs, and especially the record they have this season. I think Spurs will win it all day long. 3-1 Spurs is where I'm going on game number 3 to keep up their 100% record this season of wins. Next up, you've got Manchester United against Burnley. And Man United, Matheus Cunha had a few good chances at the start of the match against Fulham. Of course, Bruno Fernandes missed his penalty. That is probably the big talking point of the game there. And Burnley, of course, what a 2-0 victory against Sunderland they had last week. That was at Turf Moor, though. This is at Old Trafford. And I think, Fernandes is still going to be playing. And, I think Mbeumo and Cunha will link up well here in this one. Man United are yet to get a win this season. And they always seem to bottle it. Plus, they go away to Grimsby on the midweek in the Carabao Cup, and I think that could be potentially a gelling process for some new players, but I think it might be a turning point for Man United. I think it would do them good for a victory there. In this one, I think Man United at Old Trafford will get the first win of the season. I'll go 2-1. Again, I'm giving Burnley a goal, maybe from a Cullen or someone. But I think Man United's quality is just slightly better than Burnley's, so 2-1 United's where I'm going on this one. Next up, we've got Sunderland against Brentford. Now, these are two sides with differing results last week. Brentford won 1-0 against Villa, which I didn't see coming, to be honest. And Sunderland lost 2-0 to Burnley, which I also didn't see coming. I went with a 1-1 draw on that one. But, Keith Andrews is up and running as Brentford boss with that victory. But look at what Sunderland did against West Ham on the opening game week at the Stadium of Light. Beat them 3-0. And I think with this being back at Sunderland's ground, I don't know how often I'm going to predict Sunderland to lose at home this season. I think Stadium of Light is where they're going to get a lot of their points. And I look at Brentford. I was impressed by Mikkel Damsgaard and, but I think Sunderland might come back home. The fans will be rocking again, and they'll get the win over the line again. I'll go 2-1 Sunderland. I don't know who's really going to score the goals, but I like Sunderland at home at the Stadium of Light. So 2-1 Sunderland is where I'm going on this one. Okay, next up we've got Leeds against Newcastle. And yeah, I watched the Newcastle-Liverpool game with a kebab last night. And Newcastle, I'm worried now actually, because Anthony Gordon won't be playing in this match because he got sent off for that nasty challenge. Joe Linton went down. They've got some injuries and they'll be missing some players for this match, and it's at Elland Road. Leeds could just as easily get a result here, but I do look at the quality that may well be left for Newcastle, the likes of Harvey Barnes and Anthony Elanga and the likes, and I just think Newcastle's squad is just too strong. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going for an away win and quite heavy. 3-1 Newcastle is where I'm going on this one. I could see there being goals in this one, but I don't know. But I think Newcastle still has enough quality to win. And I'm going 3-1 for the Geordies. Next up, we've got Brighton against Manchester City. And this one's tricky. Brighton, both these sides lost 2-0 to their respective opponents. Brighton to Everton, City to Tottenham last week. And this one is tricky because it's tempting to give Brighton a goal at the Amex, isn't it? I look at City though. I think City will get this win over the line. And I think Brighton, they go to Oxford in the Carabao Cup. But at the minute in the league, I think Brighton may well be on a bit of a goal drought. it's only one game, but they've only scored one goal. And I think City's quality may come to the Amex and get a win and a clean sheet here. I'm going 2-0 City. I think the quality will just get them over the line. You've got Haaland, of course, Mamouche maybe, but Renders, Oscar Bob. You've got some good players for Man City. Like, their squad depth goes well far back, and I'm going for Man City 2-0 win and clean sheet to boot and push up for the title again. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest against West Ham United. And West Ham are in serious trouble right now. They lost 3-0 to Sunderland on the opening day, then lost 5-1 to Chelsea at home. I heard a rumour Graham Potter's got 2 matches to turn this around. Guessing that's against Wolves in the Carabao Cup in this match. And again, it's, like I said, similar to Wolves. I think this match may well ride on that outcome, because if they win against Wolves, the mentality may well be up, the momentum may be up, and they can get a result here. But I'm predicting this before that match. And I think, just the way I've seen them this season, Forest should flatten them. And I'm going for an easy Forest win and clean sheet to boot. 3-0 Nottingham Forest. They're in the top 4 again at the minute this season, and I think that 3-0 victory may well keep them there. They've got, Hudson-Odoi, Chris Wood, Morgan Gibbs-White, Jesus. They've got some good players, and I think they could get this over the line. Next up, we've got Game of the Week. Arsenal against Liverpool. And Arsenal beat Leeds 5-0 last week. Liverpool, as I said, beat Newcastle 3-2 last night. And what's scary is if you go back to watch that video, I predicted everything bang on. I said it would be 2-2 and Liverpool would get a last-minute goal to win 3-2, which is exactly what happened. I'm spooked out now. But with this one, it is at the Emirates, and I don't know if I'm going to back a victory here for Arsenal, but it could be a draw, and I think there could be goals. Look at that, you've got Timber scored 2, Gyökeres scored 2, well, 1 and a penalty, Saka scored. Of course, Arsenal, like Newcastle, I fear for their injuries. They had Saka injured, I think Odegaard injured. That was another one of their problems last season, was injuries. And I fear it could be some of the same again this year. And Liverpool have quality. So let's go for a Desmond. A 2-2 draw on this one. I can see both teams scoring a couple goals and a point apiece to push up towards Champions League football again and the title, to keep both in the title race. And then finally, we've got another excellent matchup. It's Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. And so far this season, from what I've seen, I fancy Palace for the away win on this one. I like Palace at the minute. They drew 1-0 with Forest last week, and they drew 0-0 with Chelsea on the opening day. Those are 2 good draws, only 2 points for them, but those are 2 good results. And Villa are yet to get a win this season. They lost 1-0 to Brentford last week. They drew 0-0 to Newcastle on the opening day. I mean, that draw against Newcastle is not a bad result, but Brentford's losing I did not see coming. They can easily get something at home, but I've seen a few things online suggesting their squad is a bit stale. And, Palace have got, Mateta, Gahey at the minute. Of course, they've lost Eze, but they've got, Wharton. They're all pushing forward for goals here. And I think Palace are going to impress and win 2-1. I'm going to back Palace for another win here, the first win of the season, and push up towards the top half of the table now. And there you have it, guys, all 10 Premier League matches for game week number 3 predicted. And yeah, that's the final week before the international break. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to set a like target of 7 likes as well. Make sure to do that, and of course tap the bell icon up there for notifications so you never miss a video. And we'll see how well these predictions turn out. I'm happy with the first 2 game weeks, and I'll see you guys later.